Today we are looking at a true equestrian estate here in Leavenworth, Washington, listed by Mikhail Kiva and Katie Davis with Windermere Real Estate West Sound. And unfortunately, it is the middle of November, so our views are a little bit obstructed, but I will throw up some photos of what these views are because we're kind of being robbed today. The views are absolutely spectacular. Boy, this property has so much to offer, and it honestly feels like it could be a retreat or a mini farm or a venue for events. I don't know. You'd have to see if the city or the county would permit that. But this property just, I mean, there is a lot of wow factor. And one of the biggest wow factors that I haven't even mentioned yet is that it sits on 300 feet of the Icicle River, which is pretty impressive. If you've ever been tubing in Leavenworth, you have floated right past this beautiful property. So getting right into it, you can see we're starting to see some of that wood fenced pasture for the horses. Here we have a 1,300 square foot barn with extra tall roll up doors and 3 stalls that have runs behind them so horses can come in and out, or donkeys or goats or whatever type of farm animal you may choose. And then here you have your tap room and a little bit of hay storage up above. Okay, and then you have more fenceway that is running along this side of the property, and then there are several pastures that are, I don't know, maybe an acre of pasture. So the property itself is 3.8 acres. So you'll see the rest of the pasture a little bit later, but I guess what I'm trying to say is everything connects, so you can move animals from one area of the property all the way up to this barn area without having to put a halter on or, manually move them. We also just saw this adorable little chicken coop here. And not only do you have the barn, but there's also several like lean-to structures like this throughout the property as well. One of the beautiful things about this 3.8 acre property is you can see how flat it is. And man, in Leavenworth, flat land comes at a premium because there just isn't that much of it. And this home is located at 8200 East Leavenworth Road. And if you've been on East Leavenworth Road, it's kind of the premier flat. There's a lot of estate style properties back here, lots of flat land, but it's kind of the only area in Leavenworth that really has this amount of flat land. And the road itself, it kind of runs parallel to downtown Leavenworth, but it's on the opposite side of the river. So the beautiful part about living over here on this side is you're away from the tourism. It's quiet, but it's very easy to get downtown. And there's ways to access this road to where you can kind of bypass some of that traffic that happens downtown as well. Okay, I'm gonna just break this video out and just show you some of these views really quick. So here we are looking up the Icicle River. Those are the enchantments that this home views, and there's just absolutely a beautiful scenery. And as I said earlier in the video, we've been a little bit robbed of our views, and we kind of have a little bit of a fall drizzly day going on here. But as we walk around this deck, you're starting to see some of the pasture out there. And just on the other side of that far fence is the Icicle River. That is the 300 feet. It's really tough to see, unfortunately, because of my camera views, but You could easily, put something out there to where you could access that water a little bit easier. There is a pathway on the far side that has gates to get through. But anyways, here you are. I mean, mountains all the way around, the river wrapping around this property. You have the flat with the pasture, the manicured yard, the beautiful mature landscape. It just keeps going on and on. Okay, we need to go into the inside of this house, and it is a little bit of a maze. This house is pretty big, and try not to get lost. Stick with me. There's some really cool features with it. So, a few words about the home. It is 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, 4,488 square feet. And it is an upper and lower. So the lower level is an ADU. And they have been renting it as a short-term rental, and it's been grossing about $70,000 a year. So multi-generational living, you could do that here. You could have a property caretaker and they can have their own quarters. You can rent the, separate property or the separate living space. Lots of flexibility with this home. So here we're getting into some of the beauty. This wood, this is not photoshopped or whatever. The glow, the beautiful color of this wood is how it is. And then you can see the home is wired throughout with a sound system as well. And when I was walking around, I was finding those voice boxes. It's like an intercom. All around the property, even outside. So, you could be like out at the porch and be like, bring me another glass of wine or whatever. Kind of fun. So here we go. Home was built in 1979, so it has some of that 70s funky, awesome character that is so coming back right now. Look at these floors. Let me know in the comments, would you keep this like 70s vibe? It's in pristine, it's in immaculate condition. Would you keep that, or is that something that you would totally try and update? Tons of storage in this home as well. So you can see this is like a back walkway where you can walk into the home. Okay, this kitchen, look at these walls. They're full sheet paneling and they are just shiny in perfect shape and absolutely beautiful. And it's all flat and clean lined. It's very modern, but with a lot of character. I really like it. I really enjoy this. So there's been a little bit of updating on the countertops and backsplashes in this kitchen, but pretty original. And then you have this grand room. This upstairs level to me feels like a little bit like a lodge. And I think what gives it that feeling is when we first walked in the front door, you had that slate, that rock that had been put in the entryway. And then you get into here and you have the exposed beams, the huge windows, the floor to ceiling, wood burning fireplace. And look at the rock in this. This is really beautiful. This is hand selected. This is nothing faux. This is the real deal. So beyond, some of the basics of the home, I also want to mention that this home has some pretty cool water rights, and which they have an individual well, and they also are on public water. So with their own water rights. So that is really unique. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier or not, but this home is also zoned to where you can put another home on the property. So do what you will with this home. Maybe you live in it, maybe you rent it out, and you can build another home on this property. It is on septic, so you would probably be putting in another septic system. But with 3.8 acres, you have plenty of room to spread out. Okay, this is the primary, and this bathroom has been updated a little bit. The floors are heated, and the shower is, new tile, new vanities, and this is going into the primary sleeping room. I would love to hear, your story. Are you thinking about coming to the Leavenworth area? Are you looking for a property that could make a little bit of income? What would you do with this property? Okay, this stairwell, there's something about this stairwell that also gives me kind of that lodge feel. And I think it's because it's really open and you have the chandelier up top. And then we're going down to the second living quarters, and it does have its own access doorway. And this door that I just walked through, there is a really heavy duty solid core door that could be locked to keep these two units individual. So here is the second kitchen in the home. And I feel like this area down here would make just really good either like guest quarters or caretaker quarters, or if you had a business with employees, you'll see what I mean. This area down here would also be a really great space to run a business out of, and this could be like the little community kitchen area. And you could turn the bedrooms into different office spaces. I don't know, just thinking really creatively because this property has so much going on with it. Um, like I said, the opportunity is really endless with this one. Look at these paneled doors and the big button pulls. I personally, like, I am so happy to be seeing, like, I guess this one isn't really coming back as 70s, but on our builder's home tour this year, there was a house in Leavenworth that was on tour, and this family decided to have it built 100% like totally retro 70s style. And I was just so impressed to see the different character and to see somebody go bold, like this was a $2.5 million home, and they went so bold with it to the point where they even did like smoked mirrors. You know what I'm talking about from the 70s, where it had like that crackle through them, behind the bar area in this house. I just love to see the different character. Walking through as many homes as I do, sometimes you just kind of get a little tired of just straight sheetrock and slightly gray white paint everywhere. And when I get to see a home that has character, it gets me really excited. Okay, check out all of this storage lockers. So when I was talking about business, like this could all be storage lockers for it. We just walked through, it could be an office. And here's a little surprise, little hot tub area. Well, thank you so much for joining me this week, and I will see you next week with a home tour of luxury properties in North Central Washington.